the bottom line is you can leave a marriage. Once you bring a child, if it's not working, you're not seeing eye to eye, you have disagreements.
What you just said is the problem. I'm sorry, I keep it.
No, but I'm just saying, like, a
child
be
able to leave a marriage.
Sure, but the bottom line is
why is the bottom line you can? Why are you even saying that right now? You telling me you're trying to convince me that marry, but you're like, the bottom line is you can leave a marriage.
I'm not trying to convince you to marry. I'm trying to understand
why.
Not
to marry, but convince me that doing marriages should be free.
No. I was trying to understand why, to you, having a child isn't.
The bottom line is that you can leave a marriage. You just said it.
Yeah.
I know we probably all know a lot of women who, you know, they're like, oh, I've been here and I've done this and I've done that, and I did, like, it just makes you sound interesting, and it like might help you get a job because somebody's like, oh, you did this, oh, you lived here, oh my God, yeah, well, you know, now, yeah, I'll hire you because you sound like you're interesting. I think it's the same thing with like the marriage thing. If you have the title, if you have the, oh, he's married, he's safe, cool, you know, he's like. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have better character than somebody else. You know, somebody else who's, you know, may also still have a family, but they're not married. You know, he might be with a woman for 15 years, but they're not married. You know,
I don't know. Like the whole concept. Okay, so like that's a weird concept to have, because even if we relate it to the resume, right? I think that that's kind of weird, because when people are like, looking at your resume, it's not like they don't have to still train you, because if you went and had this job at this place, because I remember M. White saying that to me before. It's like, you still have to train that person of the ways that you want them to do the job at your company. So even if she knows how to, let's say, be a wife, because she was a wife before, she knew how to be a wife to that man. So that doesn't make her a qualified wife for you, or a good wife to you.
Yeah, I think it's hard for us to conceive why it's important. It's because we've moved so far away from structure. Most of the things in life require vetting. Marriage at one time, for a long time, was the one process that a man, woman, can be vetted, because it wasn't dating and then transition to marriage. You had families involved, you had dynasties involved. So by the time you got to husband or wife, there was a lot of vetting. You met with the elders, you met with the family. So if you acquired a wife, you acquired a family, vice versa. And that's why transition into something like president or CEO amongst societal norms was considered respectable, because it's like someone who has a roommate compared to someone who pays mortgage. Someone who pays mortgage, you know what it requires to get a mortgage and then to have it for a decade plus, compared to someone who has a roommate. Doesn't mean that the person who has a roommate is a trash individual. It just means that they're not probably looking at life from the same vantage point of responsibility, and being vetted and proven. That's what I believe it to be. And that has not changed very much. We still trust people who have some level of stability that is proven. And typically that can come from, okay, oh, you got a wife, oh, you got a couple kids, how long y'all been married? Oh, okay. It's just kind of comes with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it either, honestly. But
and some people judge you off of your family. They look at your whole how them kids looking, everything. Like when I say looking, like how they're moving, all of those things are taken in consideration with some things. Even some, like I said, some social organizations, they read your life resume out, and you're not accepted, maybe because you're not married. Sometimes you know, some other things may pull you up. It's a whole can of worms. Don't even worry about it.
For all the reasons you
I'm not
stated,
saying I ate. I'm just saying I want to know why you disagree.
Because for all the reasons you stated, I feel as though that makes more sense to have that mindset when bringing a child into the world. Because you can feel stuck in a marriage, but you can leave a marriage.
But you do realize
you can't leave a child. You're going to be connected to this person forever, regardless. So to me, the reasons you stated, like you want to know, you know, how you work through things, be through things. I feel like that's the type of mindset you should have before you bring a child into the world, because you got to know, like, okay, in these situations that happen, how is this going to affect my child? How is this going to affect this person as a parent? How is this going to affect our style together? Children are you're forever bonded. A marriage, you can leave it at any point. Sure, maybe it might be hard, you know, maybe religiously, some people won't want to, but the bottom line is you can leave a marriage. Once you bring a child, if it's not working, you're not seeing eye to eye, you have disagreements.
What you just said is the problem. I'm sorry, keep it.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
you shouldn't be able to leave a marriage.
Sure, but the bottom line is
the bottom line you can? Why are you even saying that right now? You telling me you're trying to convince me that marry, but you're like, the bottom line is you can leave a marriage.
I'm not trying to convince you to marry. I'm trying to understand
why.
Not
to marry, but convince me that doing marriages should be free.
No. I was trying to understand why, to you, having a child isn't.
The bottom line is that you can leave a marriage. You just said it.
Yeah. But you can't. But your reasoning was with the marriage, you might feel stuck. If you're stuck, you can leave, but you can feel stuck with the child.
Yeah, but it's different because the pressure is different because we don't have to work. We don't have to involve like I was gonna say something before I said it. You're saying that, but we're not dealing with a normal society. If this was a different type of frequency that we're dealing with, we're dealing with a very unhealthy society in living in this country.
But it's not society, it's you and your person.
No, I'm talking about the concept of what you're saying as far as getting married, and people aren't that we're dealing with a different type of perspective in society where people don't have as much grace for the most part with each other as they did in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 70s, right? So when you talk about marriage, people are quicker to do things. Why? Because of what other people are saying, because of how they look on social media, because of how things look. You get married, most people, 90% of people are going to post that they're married, right or wrong. They're going to put, we're excited. We're so happy. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I know a lot of successful couples. I'm talking about the ones that maybe think like me. I'm saying that sometimes it's healthier, again, to work through things with your partner, get to know your partner, work through the hard, get to know who you're marrying.
I agree with that. I don't think anyone should jump into marriage. I agree, know who you're marrying, but also that time you're taking to know who you're marrying, you're taking that same time to know who you're having a child with. I think having a child is a heavier
You're saying don't do either one.
I'm saying having a child is a bigger burden, in my opinion, than I don't want to call it a burden, but it's a bigger commitment, and it can be a bigger burden than a marriage, than a divorce.
I think that, can I be honest with you? I just have a completely different perspective.
Are you scared of marriage?
No, not at all. It's not a scare. I just told you.
Yeah.
I just told you what it was.
I don't understand.
It's not scary.
I have a hard time understanding people being able to choose to bring life with someone and be connected forever.
You may not agree with this either.
Versus,
but I'm going to explain it to you.
Marriage, where, listen, if it doesn't work, we never have to see each other again. If your relationship doesn't fit, to have a healthy life.
Get what you're saying, 1,000%. But I'm going to say this. This may sound crazy too to you. And this is not the case with my life at all, because me and my girl, we're solid. I want to be with her forever. But the point is that legal. This sounds crazy to me.
That's not legal. And let me tell you something. Legally? Let me even tell you something. I don't even want to get married
legally.
Because that's, the marriage part, that's where the legal.
That's crazy to me. I don't subscribe to that.
Okay.
I don't subscribe to these types of energetic traps that involve other people. I want to keep my life and things in my life pure as possible. The only reason I'm not sovereign yet is because I don't feel like doing all the paperwork yet and all that stuff. I don't want to even be a part of, but it's cool. We're going to play the game. The point is that, like, I feel like sometimes, even in certain cases, a child may come through a couple, and those couple may not be meant to be together forever, but they were meant to bear this child together. I don't think that every situation is the same, and I think that it's up to the couple. It's up to.
Yeah, that's. I just don't understand that, man. You still learning to figure out if she's worthy enough to get married, but I'm gonna go in there naked head, and I'm gonna drop a seed in, and I'm gonna pray and hope that she's gonna be a good mother, not an abusive, verbal abusive, physically abusive type mother. I hope she's a loving mother, and don't decide to put my child up for adoption, because she can do that without your consent. First of all, you got to establish that's your child. Right? She got legal ramifications over that you don't right now, because it's a possibility that may be your child, possibility it may not. So now you gotta determine that's your child first thing first. And if she decided in that time, yeah, I'm gonna put this baby up for adoption, I don't want this child because he don't want to be around. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Nothing. Ain't shit you gonna be able to do because she got the law on the side. Yeah. Look, I don't know what type of woman she is. Hopefully she's a good mother. She may not be a good significant a wife, a possible wife. I just pray she's a good mother, because you done gave this woman a baby. You know what I'm saying? You don't hardly know anything about her. You just know she was good for the moment.
Well, Hank, you just unlocked a new irrational fear. Oh my God, she's going to give my baby up for adoption.
It's possible. Look, if a woman's mad at you, I've seen some trifling women do some shit like that.
So you saying that she can sign up for adoption while she's pregnant, so immediately when the baby is born, and the baby goes for adoption without the father being involved? Is that what happened?
He has no rights.
He has no rights until he signed the birth certificate.
What? No, more than just his birth certificate. He got to establish paternity. He got to establish that it's his child.
You ain't got to do that.
All right, man.
Depending on your state. Depending on your state. I'm sorry. Depending on the state. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
He said something very interesting to me as he was talking. I was thinking about it. Maybe one of you guys would know. When was marriage instituted from a legal perspective? Because from my understanding, for a long time, probably longer than current day, to be married was just to constitute, like you stood before some person or people, had witnesses, and y'all just declared, right? You just declared. And then at some point in human history, we started tracking it, now putting it to, now you need a license, right? I don't know when that occurred, but I think I understand if for more of human history, we've married each other and respected marriage from the declaration of it without paperwork. But now you need paperwork. You need to have this license to now say that we're married. Like, is that to invalidate all of those people that came before? I would want to know, like,
4,000 years ago. I just Googled it.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
Like the 1800s onward for the United States.
For the United States, but it came into contract. Okay, with the United States, I didn't put that down. I just put that.
Yeah, like 1700s and 1800s. So it started off in England and Wales in 1753. The Marriage Act, 1753. Hardwick's Act required formalities like a church ceremony or license for a marriage to be legally valid. France was the late 1700s. United States was 1800s onward. By the 19th century, in most Western countries, marriage was firmly a legal contract recognized and enforced by the state, and not just a religious or cultural practice.
So that gives me context, because I would want to know from that point, like that vantage point, what was the purpose of the legality, right? Because humans have been around for a long time. So this is a very still maybe fairly new concept. Who's to say that you can't declare one's relationship valid between two people and a party? And
I think it was to transfer land and all of your the property and all that kind of stuff. Like,
I just checked again, ChatGPT. Short version, they made marriage legal so the state could control what happens to money, children, and power when people join or separate. So like property and money, like who gets it, children and inheritance, whose child is this, power and social control, keeping people in line, contracts and rights, so you can't just walk away, like benefits and rewards, do what we want, get perks.
Wow. Yeah. See, and that just makes it to me just sound messy. Like if it's supposed to be this union of love and trust and whatnot, and getting in partnership with the state and that just sounds unattractive.